States, we have a new platform. So, welcome to Restream, where we're going to be able to better interactively engage our audience. And what better to do the first episode than with Rob Cressy himself? He is the coach, the mastermind expert, Chat GPT wizard. I mean, those are just a few of the things. But Rob, I'll let you kind of intro yourself a little bit because you are a multifaceted Swiss Army knife, my friend.
I am, all by design. So thank you very much. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a master creator. I'm a coach who is committed to helping you be your best, do what you love, and show up powerfully. And I specialize in a few different areas: personal growth and self-mastery. So helping you be the ideal version of yourself, not only in business, but also in life. Podcasting and brand building, helping you leverage your skills and talents to build an omnipresent brand. And then last but certainly not least, Chat GPT and AI. So when you hear from me, it's all about growth and creation.
So that's why we have you tonight. And of course, we used the hook to get people excited about tonight's show because, gosh, we can't be in a room nowadays where somebody's not trying to teach a class, pitch something else, or bring up artificial intelligence or Chat GPT in our real estate community. And so, Rob, it was great to talk to you the other day and really kind of dig down because there's always been tools, there's always been technology in real estate. Realtors are admittedly our own worst enemy in trying to figure out the how, the when, and the why into implementing these tools. And so that's where you come into play tonight, is to help us not only from the implementation side, but that mindset side, because I think so much, realtors are always scared that they're going to be replaced. And that is nothing new. Before, when we just had MLS books, the online MLS was going to be the devil. They were going to put us out of business, and it's so funny. Just because we evolve doesn't mean that we become less useful. It's just we have to evolve with the changes in the landscape. And I think that's really where the crux of this conversation is going to go tonight, is to really help people get out of their own way and figure out really exciting ways that they can implement the mindset shift and leveraging artificial intelligence, and specifically Chat GPT, not to replace them, but to give them valuable time back in their business to advocate for their clients. So, Rob, I'm going to let you kind of start that off with maybe some extra tidbits to get people a little excited.
Well, yeah, we're going to be shooting fire. And I want to set the intention right now that this is about to be a 15 out of 10 experience, that if you're dialed in, you take notes, this is going to transform your life in your business. And the reason I know this is because we're coaching business owners and entrepreneurs on a regular basis on this stuff. And Ashley, there's some language that you said in this intro that I want to dissect in a good way, because you'd said trying to, air quotes, figure out how. I get it, but as a coach, figuring out is a trigger word for me, because figuring out's in the distance. We're grabbing it. We don't have it. And to me, that comes from scarcity. I want you to create with this, because this is a tool, because you said they're scared they'll be replaced. I get it, but this is an offense conversation. We are best in class at all that we do. So we want to help you leverage Chat GPT and AI to do more with less faster, to gobble up market share, to be not only the best broker and real estate professional, but also fill up all the buckets of your life. Because one of the major assets of this is the ability for you to buy back your time by not having to do the same things that may have been grinding you for a while, because that's what AI and Chat GPT are going to help us do right there. So for me, the word is leverage. We want to leverage Chat GPT, because this is no different than any other tool. And Chat GPT is not going to replace us. Someone using Chat GPT will, because this doesn't work unless we do it. So I encourage you to think of Chat GPT like a creative partner or a companion that the robot can't yet turn itself on and start self-destructing us, right? This is a very important thing, because the world is going to tell you Chat GPT is stranger danger. But right now, it can't self-turn itself on. Very simple thing. And a lot of people, when they're just starting out with Chat GPT and they put it in there, they're like, this thing doesn't work. This sounds like a robot. Look at all these errors that this thing is giving me. When I hear that, I smile because those people are not using it correctly. And the more that people tell you that this doesn't work or it's infactual or that robots are taking over, for me, I'm like, keep it coming, because that's taking people away from leveraging this, which means the advantage that myself and my clients are going to get is only going to get bigger.
Well, Robin, I want to touch on that. And Heath Realty Group, thanks for spitting that fire in the house. And hopefully tonight that we'll be bringing that. And guys, this is interactive. And so if you have questions, if you've been using it and or something, there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't get it. It's just a matter of teach me how instead of this thing doesn't work. And I think the biggest thing for me is I sit there and I play with it sometimes, and it's about me. It's the user experience. It's user error. And so I've found out that I need to learn how to feed it. And if you can learn how to feed Chat GPT and teach it what you want to do, I'm not going to sit there and demonize an actual human being and say that Chat GPT can replace a human assistant. But what I will tell you is when you're effectively onboarding somebody to be an assistant or a leverage tool in your business, whether they're just a consultant or they're full-time, you have to teach them how you want things done. No, that's not how I want you to write that email. Or no, that's not what I like my social media post to look like. It's the same thing. Liken it to you are teaching a new assistant or a new tool or consultant how you want things. And so if you don't like how something, I was doing something the other day and I was just playing around. Okay, I'm obsessed with the pink stuff because in real estate, when you find really cool like cleaning products and different hacks that can really help your sellers maximize their properties, it excites me. So the pink stuff is one of the best cleaning products on there. It can get residue out of bathtubs. It can clean wood floors. You can use it on appliances. And so this thing is like magic. So I literally was putting in there, write me a really funny social media post on why the pink stuff is the best cleaning tool on the market. And it was hysterical. And then I had to like alter it a couple of times, but my creativity was what kept on driving, creating that really cool post around a really great product that my clients can leverage. But if I sat there and tried to do that, it'd be hours of my time. And that was 10 minutes. And I think that was the coolest thing. So, hey, Bobby, thanks for tuning in. Good stuff. Loves ChatGPT. And Charlandra, hey, Charlandra, I think this will help me be more active on social media as a commercial practitioner. That's the other thing. That's that good mindset that you were talking about, that it's going to help them and they're going on the offense.
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to put some phraseology around a few things. So we're going to have a very circuitous route that we're going to take on today for the transformation. So what you described in sort of the bringing on an assistant or someone, one of the number one tips we have at GPT Leaders, which is the name of the Chat GPT consulting company that we run, is talk to Chat GPT like it's an employee.
Yep.
And this is very important because a lot of people will just go in there and write me a marketing strategy. And it's like, well, that is like open sea. But the more specific that you get of write me a marketing strategy for the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where we are posting once a day and we want one video and one image and so you get very specific in building out the layers of this. And Ashley, one of the things I've found to be the most valuable things is actually popping open the hood and showing people what we mean by adding this context. So would you like me to share my screen and show sort of what some of this means?
I think our guests would love you to do that because I'm a visual learner and I'm sure some of the others are too. So, and folks, this is why we are now on Restream, so we can in live do really cool things just like this.
All right. So here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. We're going to start with the very simple, and then we're going to layer on what this can look like. So I'm a world-class real estate broker, and I'm going to be very formulaic about this to show you how I do this. When you write in Chat GPT, always put you are the best or you are world class. Why?
Okay.
We both know there's a difference between a real estate broker and a world-class real estate broker, right?
Okay.
There's levels to this game. Chat GPT understands the context. When I look back at 2023, the phrase of my year that I will have said the most is world-class. I will have spoken world-class more than any 2 words in my entire life. Why? Because I'm feeding it into Chat GPT, and in the process, I'm speaking it out loud and creating myself as a world-class coach. Because why would I think about myself as anything other than best in class? Because I am, and so are you. So here it is. I'm a world-class real estate broker. So this is context. You're telling it who you are. Next thing, instructions. I want to create ideas for my social media marketing. Cool. A little vague, but we're getting there. All right. Please give me 10 ideas for problems that new home buyers faced. So if I was looking at going from 0 to 1, this is a great example of a prompt. Here's who I am. Here's what I want to do. And then the last thing we call here is task specificity. You're being specific on what you want it to or what you're asking it to do. So boom, it says, hey, here are 10 common problems that new home buyers faced that you should address or that you could address. So right now, this is from a social media marketing lens. And Ashley, one of the things that you talked about is, hey, it took me several times of going back and forth to get what I wanted, right? Yeah, there's a term for that. It's called prompt chaining, like the word CHAIN. And what that really means is you're stacking on top of your prompts, one on top of the other, almost like building a house, right? Yeah. So one of the biggest areas where beginners fail is that they think that Chat GPT has to give them their end result in one prompt.
Right.
But that is not correct. This is the start of it. And what this is here is called prompt engineering, how you engineer a prompt to create what you want. So here's a simple example of how we're going to prompt chain this. So here are 10 problems new home buyers could face. All right, well, we can build out the world. So let's go with bidding wars because I can at least understand that. So you're like, amazing. I want to build out the world for bidding wars so I can create more. So very generic prompt, but what you can do here is, and this is the next tip for everyone in the beginner landscape. I call it peeling the onion. So like an onion, you're every single time you're peeling it back, you're peeling it back, you're peeling it back. Well, the same is true with how we're leveraging Chat GPT. So this first prompt is the start of our onion. And the first peel that we're doing is, I want to peel back bidding wars. And for those who want to accelerate this a little bit faster, I want you to now think about what I call the hub and spoke model. So the hub is one piece of content. The spoke is all of the pieces of content that can come from that master content. So imagine you did a 10 problems new home buyers face article or video, and then you turn the video into, well, I'm going to build out every single one of these. And then I'm going to make every one of these a newsletter. So now it's a 10 email sequence on here's the 10 things for each of these things. And you've got a CTA below each one of these things or something like that. So we sit here and it says, all right, absolutely, bidding wars are prevalent. Here, we can delve into this more. Understanding bidding wars, strategies, managing emotions, financial implications. Once again, let's peel back the onion. All right, to know more about managing emotions.
I've got hey, I think we're not going to put that in print, Rob, but I think we can all relate to this one.
So there's a reason why I'm putting it like this, because, and this is the next tip, I want you to take what is in your head and put it into Chat GPT. So if you're dealing with a crazy client who's irrational and the wife is super sweet, you literally go in there and be like, I'm in a bidding war situation. The husband is crazy and irrational. The wife is super sweet. How do I get them to the finish line? Because, and this is another tip, one of the things that I often say to my clients is, what is the question you are not asking Chat GPT? And it's the same thing as, what are you thinking? Because a lot of people will open this up and they're like, I just don't know what to do. So I would literally go, hey, Chat GPT, I just don't know what to do. I want to create some content for my marketing, but I'm feeling stuck around imposter syndrome and I'm not good enough and I've got all this time. And you literally just take what's in here, because guess what? This thing is like an expert at everything. So it understands psychology, it understands mindset, it understands marketing, it understands real estate, it understands how to drive a bus, it understands how to paint a bus, it understands the color of the paint that goes into the bus that we use in the photo for the Instagram that we blah, 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 blah. Like, it understands all this. So look at this. Managing emotions during a bidding war can be challenging, but it's critical to make sound decisions. Boom, 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 boom. This is the last thing we're gonna do. This is amazing. I want to create 10 hooks for my Instagram reels all about this. Boom. So now, as we're peeling this layer back, so you can now, not only did we just create, see, we're peeling this onion. So now we're in the bidding war, and this could just be its own piece of content. So for everybody listening or watching right now, you can now start to have light bulb moments going off, being like, oh my God, how many things do I know or can Chat GPT feed me that me and my team could use to leverage to create content on all platforms, video, audio, newsletter, webinars, events, in person, you name it. So boom, it's like, feeling the heat of a bidding war? Here's how to keep your cool. What's up? I'm Rob Cressy, and let me tell you about 3 strategies you can use when your husband is trying to stop you from buying this house, whatever it is. Boom, there you go. And this was just the simplest example, and I didn't even dive into like the good of how you can really do this. But if I'm going from 0 to 1, Ashley, anybody can do that, right?
Well, and I'm going back to Sherlandra. And Sherlandra is one of our volunteer leaders at the association, and she's you know, on the commercial sector, like she said, and that's something that, you know, I think it's hard because we often go towards the residential side, but Sherlandra, I mean, this is a great example of her being able to plug some things in that she's passionate about in the commercial side of the business, and then feed it to help engineer. Like, he just did social posts. You did, like you said, which you can convert into a 10-step newsletter. Then you can, you know, take that and say, this is fantastic. Give me some Instagram reel, you know, prompts. It's not that we're not willing to put ourselves out there. We just don't know what content to pump out. And so it becomes paralysis by analysis. And I think you just in real time showing how to talk to ChatGPT was super useful for me. And I've been playing around with it for a few months now. So, and by the way, we've already had a couple of people, thank you, Rob, for throwing that toolkit in there at no additional cost, because I think that is the biggest thing. So guys, make sure you click on the tribeofwinning.com, and that's an awesome toolkit for you to keep this journey going after tonight.
Okay, so Ashley, here's what I did. And granted, we usually wouldn't do this on the same chain. You would start a new one because from an organization standpoint, we would want to keep building out the world of residential. You would open up a new tab. But in this instance, I wanted to show how simple this is. So I have another part of my business that is commercial real estate. I'm new to the industry and have an employee I'm onboarding. What are some best practices I can share about the industry and how it is different than residential? Cool. Understanding property types, lease structures, investment analysis. Here's the thing. I don't have to know anything about this to be able to help anybody about any single industry, because I understand what to put in based on what you were just saying with your own language, which goes back to take what's in your head, or if somebody's talking to you. So when we coach business leaders, I will literally be typing as they're speaking to me, hit enter, and they're like, oh my God, what did you just create? I was like, you just created it yourself. So I just wanted to show how quickly this can be done.
What's funny is my child, who is very technologically advanced, because we stream this through YouTube, is also putting emojis in the chat. She is cubing, which I don't really know what that Thing is, but Rob, we're pro technology in this family. So,
I love the engagement, Ashley.
No, hey, I've taught my child to boost the engagement on everything that I do. So thanks, baby. I appreciate you tuning in. Yes.
So
hello.
Ashley, here's what I want to do now is I want to give sort of the next level of this, right?
Yep.
So what I just showed was going from 0 to 1. Any of you can do that, right? So remember, talk to Chat GPT like an employee and peel back the onion. Well, this is a prompt that I created earlier today, and I was actually talking about it before we started recording. So look at this. I'm a world-class growth coach and master creator committed to helping. Boom. There's the bio that I read. I have a coaching program called This That Does This. And then a prospect must have a painful problem for us to solve and charge money for our solution. Because of this, I want to create a list of problems my ideal demographic is having as it relates to my service. This needs to be specific in bullet points. So these two qualifiers at the end, very big to put in your creator tool belt. Specific, because Chat GPT can be vague or very verbose. So boom, I want you to be dialed in. And this last one, in bullet points. Why? Because it's easier for me to read. What I then did, and this is the next level thing of what will take you from 0 to hero, and this is so simple, is you can give it as much context about who you are or what you want to do as possible. So here's context for what some of my clients have said. And what I did is I went through the last year of all of my coaching clients, and I looked at our session notes and the things that they said about the impact that I helped them create. So now ChatGPT understands from the words of my clients, you guys can do this for real estate, and boom, I put this in here. Look how big this thing is. I didn't have to type all of this. I already had this information. So if you've got PDFs, you've got blog posts, you've got anything written, you throw this in here. Boom. Based on the extensive narrative provided by your clients, kind of important context, the following problems and pain points of your target demographic can be discerned. Boom. Look at all of this. So,
Rob, the first thing that came to my mind, though, as you're doing this, so many times, people will sit there and they know they're good at real estate and they know what they're good at, but it's then extrapolating those things from Google reviews and Facebook reviews and everything else, because most of the time, and we're talking a lot in the real estate industry right now, is being able to truly articulate your value proposition, because there are a lot of tools that every realtor and consumer has at the tips of their fingertips. So what is your differentiator? And to be able to then take all those reviews and consolidate them and then pump them in there to be able to extrapolate what your clients are saying are your biggest value propositions is huge.
All right. So value proposition is one of my favorite words to put into Chat GPT, because I'm creating offers and landing pages on a regular basis. And we are so in the weeds often as business owners or people who run our own businesses that we can have a hard time articulating or seeing the true value of what it is that we create.
Right.
So back to the residential real estate, I want to create my value proposition in bullet points 10. So what I asked it to do was to tell me my value proposition here. And this is very generic once again, but just putting in there, like most people would be like, oh my God, I never thought that I could put value proposition in there. So think about what we've just done. Show me the pain points based on what my customers said and how I help them overcome them. Or in this instance, I want to create my value proposition. But Ashley, let's get a little bit more specific and let's actually look at you. If we were going to be building out the value proposition of, is it an offer? Why me versus somebody else? What is a use case that would be applicable to you or anybody watching or listening right now that we can create in real time to show how this works?
As far as,
anything.
I think, right. Yeah. How about let's put somebody put something in the chat that we can sit there and throw up there right now, because I love that Charlandra was able to throw something in there too. And while we're waiting for something, so repeat what we're looking for again, Rob.
So I want to build out the value proposition for someone that they have? Is it why me? Okay, a VA loan versus a conventional loan. Great. So, and is it for a specific person? So let's build this word out. So we had this versus this, but what if I'm 20 years old versus what if I'm 60 years old? Because this is where the gold is. The more that we say why or who this is for, because is a VA loan and a conventional loan the same for Ashley or for me? I don't know the answer, Ashley. Is it?
Well, I think maybe a VA loan versus a conventional loan. What is the value proposition of one over the other for a veteran? Because that's what obviously only a veteran would be able to qualify for the VA loan.
Great. So this is something you've got an entry-level employee or somebody you're like, I just don't want to know this stuff. Boom. There's our answer. So watch this.
Great job, Larita. Thank you for putting that in there.
Okay. So I'm now seeing if it can take a look at this. Attention veterans, if you're considering home ownership, don't overlook the benefits of a VA loan designed especially for you. With features like blah, 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 whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to upgrade, our expert team is here to guide you through the process. Reach out today to explore how a VA loan can be your key to a new home. Great.
Guys, I hope you're paying attention to his prompts and you can read this. That's awesome. And how specific you were. Great. I want a better call to action. Give me 5 options. Make 2 of them funny. I'm always the funny person. So I'm always trying to get it to be a little more humorous with its options.
Right. Ready to unlock the door of home ownership with a VA loan? Click here and let's turn that key together. All right. I like that. Start your no strings attached. Click here to slide in. Don't let that dream home become the one that got away. Fed up with playing hide and seek with your dream home? Let a VA loan be your secret weapon. All right. So now we're building worlds out. So since that was a little bit abstract, we can now reverse engineer this to go back the other way. So Ashley, you actually touched on something very important, which is important for everybody, both in marketing and real estate, is differentiation. Anybody can be like, the reason that you want a VA loan is flexible credit requirements and limits on closing costs. Wah, wah, snooze, because in the same feed, I'm seeing vacation videos, trick shots, people partying, kids and families. Instead now, tired of playing hide and seek with your dream home, dear veterans? It's time to step up the game with a VA loan with no down payment, blah, 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 blah. But this is good, but not good enough, because there's the next step. And this is, I want you to write this down. It's super important. A tip from going from zero to hero is called creating your best practices document.
Okay.
And what this is, why would we want to write down who we are every single time, right? Remember at the beginning,
branding.
What was that? Well, so when we were over here, do I want to write down every single time I'm a world-class growth coach and master creator committed to blah, 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 blah? No. So what I want you to do on your phone or on your computer, whether you use Evernote, Word, Google Docs, a text document, I want you to create a document, and you're going to call it best practices document. And what you're going to have is the following 3 things. Number 1, who I am. And you're going to write down your version of this. I am a world-class real estate broker that lives in Frisco, Texas, that does $60 million a year in revenue. I have a team of 5 people, or I have a team of 1. My goal this year is to double our revenue. Boom. Number 2, our target demographic is first-time home buyers with a price point of $1 million and up in the Frisco area who are looking for 3 bedrooms and above. Boom. That's number 2, because with that context, it now knows who it is. And then number 3, I want you to write down your brand voice, AKA what you sound like. Because a lot of people will say, well, won't anybody have the same marketing strategy as me? And won't this all just have the same generic stuff? Sure, if you just want to sound like a robot. Or you can say, and I want you to write down 5 to 10 keywords or phrases of what you sound like. So for example, we'll go back to what we're cooking here. Update it with my brand voice. Inspiring, friendly, professional, wise, brand, save you.
Love it.
So this is in the same document. And why in the world do we do this, Ashley? Because every time we open up Chat GPT, you go copy, paste who I am, target demographic, and what I sound like. And now you paste it. And with everything that we've created, look at the difference of here. Tired of playing hide and seek with your dream home, dear veterans? I'm like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Hey there, veterans. Ever feel like finding your dream home is a game of hide and seek? Way better flow.
A little less creepy, too.
Way less creepy. Let's turn that around. With a VA loan, you've got a secret ally, no down payment. Look how much more that flows.
Yeah.
Right? Your secret, boom. And secret ally, that kind of ties into the whole veteran angle, too.
Yep.
So, this is this is what is not being taught by anybody. So remember when we started actually at the top of being like scared we're going to get replaced? In the course of 30 minutes, you are not being replaced because of the knowledge that you just learned right here.
Well, and you said a really good word. And I think that's one that a lot of us have to work through, is that scarcity mindset. And that scarcity mindset is ingrained, and you do coaching on mindset and doing all of those things, because if we can't have that paradigm shift of who we are and what we're doing and everything else, we're always going to be looking through that negative scarcity lens. And for so many of us, we haven't abandoned that, whether it's that negative self loop that we have from childhood, it's the failures that we've had, whether it's life or professional or anything else. And I think, again, if we're going in there and feeding this, and like you said, treating it like an employee when you're talking to somebody across the room and teaching them how you want things to look, if we can't fix our own stuff up here, then what comes out here is not going to be articulated appropriately.
100%. And I do so much work on this, one, on myself, as well as with my clients, because I struggle with the same things that everybody else does. Yeah. I've gone through the same, because I've not always been this person, but I've put in the work to help me become the best version of myself, to the point where people actually want to work with me to help them create these things in their life. And even today, I did a video, and I'll actually share the nuggets with you guys. And it was all around binary thinking.
Okay.
Simplest thing in the world. Binary is a 1 or a 0, right? So why is binary thinking beneficial? And this is in your creator tool belt. It doesn't mean I go around life only seeing things in 1s or 0s. It means in certain situations, and especially the world of scarcity mindset versus growth mindset, this is a binary thinking. So when I started my entrepreneurial journey 13 years ago, I was making several 6 figures in an advertising sales job, and quit my job to go all in on my dreams of being a full-time creator. Like that, no revenue, no clients, no website, no relationships, nothing. I am at 0. It's 0. 0, 0, 0. It's an interesting thing when you go from good money to 0 money. Yeah. And I asked myself one question, and I wasn't this person. I was a work hard, play hard, ad sales party bro. I did not have a growth mindset. I was not self-aware. So it is not the person you're hearing today. But I asked myself one question. I said, what will help me accomplish my goals faster? Positivity or negativity? And I was like, positivity, of course. Negativity will take me further away from where I want to go and slow me down. Because of that, negativity has no place in my life. This became a 1 or a 0. So how do you create this level of energy and positivity and excitement for a decade straight effortlessly? Because negativity is a 0 in my life. And when I audit my inputs, if there's anything negative, I give it no credence. And this includes my self-talk. It doesn't mean I don't have negative thoughts. It means I don't give ownership or power to them, or I'll shrink the time that they stay with me. So as it relates to scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset, you sit there and say, well, if I start to notice that the story that I'm telling myself is one of lack, that should immediately trigger from an awareness standpoint, ding, 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 ding. What's going on here? Because I know from a binary thinking standpoint, this is a 0. Scarcity thinking will not help you create everything that you want in your life. On the flip side, abundance mindset will. But Ashley, I get it, but Rob, you guys are just different. Cool. Let's go to our friend Chat GPT. I'm about to show you guys something nobody does except for me.
Let's do it.
All right. So, I'm a world-class real estate broker in Texas. I am with feeling scarcity clients. Okay, look at what I just put in here. I'm a world-class real estate broker in Texas. I'm struggling right now with feeling scarcity over not having clients. I know that I'm great at what I do. I just can't get my lead flow in. Can you help me reframe my mindset? My goal is to double my business to $1 million this year from 500K. So what you can actually leverage ChatGPT to do is be your coach, because what we want to do when we have a scarcity mindset is reframe the story that we're telling ourselves, right? Because the scarcity isn't serving us. And there's another type of mindset that I love called a neutral mindset. A lot of times on social media, you're going to hear people be like, oh, you know what? When times are the toughest, I just want you to smile and be like, you know what? This is amazing. I'm going to make sure that I overcome this. I get it. I'm about that life. But not everybody has done the emotional or internal work to be able to frame the obstacles and adversity into opportunities. Side note, read the book, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Changed my life. Best book I've ever read in my life. It's all around building a mindset of turning obstacles and adversity into opportunities.
So the obstacle is the way?
The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It'll change your life.
Awesome.
And the more practical mindset, and we'll go back to sort of the 1s and 0s. I want you to think of negativity or fear and judgment as a -1, neutral meaning 0 as I'm not thinking positive or negative, I'm just at 0, or oh my God, everything's amazing as a +1. Well, when you're sitting there in the -1 in the scarcity mindset, it can feel really hard to be like, yeah, you know what? I don't have any clients, but man, I'm so amazing that the sun is shining. I don't want you to do that. All I want you to do is not think about how you have no clients. So let's get to 0. So that's what neutral thinking is. So instead of trying to jump 2 levels, all you do is you change your story and you say, all right, I'm living in a -1 right now. I need to get to neutral. So I'm just going to go for a walk and put on some Bob Marley and come back in 15 minutes. Boom. I've moved my body. I've changed my environment. I've changed my physical state. Now I'm no longer living in the negative. So that's a very simple tactic of scarcity to neutral to abundance. But back to our example here, Ashley. So mindset plays a significant role. Embrace growth mindset, adopt abundant, reframing failure as learning. Boom. So remember, every world-class broker faced challenges and doubts at some point. The difference lies in how you perceive and overcome these obstacles. Keep believing in yourself and your abilities with the right mindset.
Hey, Robin, I want to touch on that because the biggest thing, I mean, we do have a shifting marketplace, and so many times I think we look to others on in our network and our social media channels and everything else to see how they're performing to compare how we're performing. And you and I talked about this the other day. If you are in that negative space, or in you're in a or like I've been this year where I'm not in a negative space, but I'm in a space where I want to elevate. I have to sit there and do an internal self audit and sit there and say, what do I need to do to really get myself drilled down to elevate myself? Well, a lot of that was kind of quieting things down. And I like to consume information. I love to see good marketing content. I'm all about it. But our news feeds on whatever channels that we're looking at, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or even TikTok or whatever, if there's a lot of noise out there and it's a lot of noise that's going to distract you, I think that's something for me that I've been able to consider. And so what I've done is I've really, I've stopped following a lot of the content I was following before. And I really repurposed that into making sure that if I open an app and I'm consuming information or consuming content, that it's the content that I want to go and hear, because that's what's going to help me recalibrate and get to that elevated state. And it doesn't happen overnight, but if I see myself tripping on something, I have to be good enough and say, you know what, Ashley, you don't need to be sitting there consuming that content anymore, because comparison is the devil. And so for me, that was something for, just to help propel myself into that next state of that mindset shift that I'm trying to achieve.
I love it. So Ashley, take a look at this. So I'm finding it hard to believe in myself. Can you help me feel good and build the confidence? Remember, take what's in your head, including if it's emotional, because for a lot of people, they don't have someone next to them who's a personal growth coach. Sure. They're not about this life either. They might be struggling too. I'm not going to tell my friends. I'm not going to go on social media and be like, hey, everybody, I'm struggling at landing clients. So you can literally go in here and self-coach yourself. So it's like, remember your achievements. I will note one thing that is very important in all of this. We're not just doing this to do this, that if you truly want to change, you want to take action. So it becomes, remember your achievements. So if you're Ashley Rye, you'll say, all right, go write down 10 of your achievements, write down. So it says, look back at your accomplishments. Chat GPT physically can't be like, here, I'm going to do this for you. Can for a lot of instances, but you got to take the action at some point. And Ashley, this sort of, at the very beginning, what we wanted to say is Chat GPT is the how. It will tell you how to do everything. It is up to you to execute. So how was previously this hard? Now it's all the way down here. So look, and what I call this is the gap. So right now the competition who's better than you, more brokers, more money, better car, they're sitting up here in their mansion, resting on their laurels. They're not leveraging Chat GPT because why do we? We're number one in the market. Everybody knows us. So they're sitting here doing these inefficient systems, inefficient processes. It takes them all this time to create their marketing campaign. But you were on this amazing live stream with Ashley and Rob, and you learned about the power of Chat GPT and AI. And what took them a month to create a marketing strategy, you created that in one day. And
Rob, hold on. That's no different though, man, because I mean, even back in the day, I mean, especially in the real estate world, Brian Buffini's like a great coach. And that was his big thing. And he would do these conferences and it was all about the personal touch and personal relationships and consistency and discipline and doing that. And no technology was involved, right? And so you sat there, but that was the same thing that they said. Like the coaches in the room that were trying to get people to sign up would literally just look at you and go, hey, look to the person to the left, look to the person to the right. As long as you do what he's saying to do, those two aren't going to do it. And nothing has changed. Just the tactics have changed. People's discipline to actually do it is still the same. We are still the same innate human beings, whether it's writing a personal note or using Chat GPT to create marketing content or something else. It's all about what are you willing to do and outwork and just be more disciplined and consistent than your competitor.
You got that right. So boom, here's what we got there, Ashley. But here's what I did for you. And you're talking about how you wanted to elevate yourself. And I sort of paraphrase this. So it's like, I have a friend who wants to elevate herself. She's amazing at what she does. She wants to quiet things down to make herself better. Social media is becoming overwhelming and noisy. It's distracting. Can you help me with this so I can be better? Boom, set boundaries, turn off notifications, unfollow or mute, curate your feed, tools, digital detox, mindful scrolling, prioritize offline relationships. Like, this is what I would tell my clients. I'd be like, yo, Ashley, here's what we're going to do. Let's create some time. Like, this is it 101. So, of course, I would love for you to work with me, but
yeah,
I would also love for you to work with Chat GPT to help you really quick.
Well, and we've got 15 minutes, and it's so amazing because you sit there and you go, how are we going to fill up an hour? And then we had this conversation beforehand, and we've completely pivoted. And I love where it's gone, because we've had real-time integration with our people that are watching right now, and you being able to take things on the fly really shows how adaptable and how you can pivot in that layering process and that peeling back the onion. What is it? Prompt chaining? Is that what you called?
Yeah, just one after another. It's like, boom, we got this, we got this, we got this, we'll get this. And then you leave that one, you come back 3 days later, you start building. So imagine having a social media strategy one of ideas. So I do this for my podcasts. I do this for each of my coaching programs. So one for Chat GPT, one for podcasting, one for personal growth and holistic success. I'm building out the world. I'm building out the world. And you just keep going and going. And it's like a Texas chili with beans. And just the longer you leave it in there, and it sits and it simmers and it becomes so delicious. And you add more and more, and the longer and longer. ChatGPT is the same way.
Well, here's what you don't know what you just did, Rob, because I am not from Texas, and Texas chili apparently is not supposed to have beans, and I just don't understand. So wow. I know, but the best chili does have beans. So I'm going to throw that out there, and but that was good.
Look at me, a chili lover who's team beans, assuming one of the barbecue capitals of the world is a no team beans on chili. I mean,
okay. Look, Christine Burke, who loves ChatGPT, very good friend of mine, fellow graduate of TRLP, and I know we've got some other TRLP people on here, our Texas Realtors Leadership Program. No beans. But,
wow.
So you now know something, Rob. You learned something from this today. And I know you're in our great state of Texas frequently. So hey, what great social media content, though, right? To talk about beans or no beans.
Okay. I'm glad that you said that. So if you want to, for lack of a better term, engagement bait, and you want to create this actually around your brand in real estate, one of the things you do is you build your know, love, and trust factor. Imagine building a Facebook ad, because all the realtors that I see that I know are like, here's my listing, here's my listing, here's my listing. I'm like, I don't care. That's crap. Like, you're not building my know, love, and trust, right? Like, I get it. You sell real estate. It's part of the game. Yeah. But that's only like one of 7 buckets of what you do, right? Yes. So imagine, though, you thinly veiling in the same way we did about the VA loan. Imagine if you built an entire campaign around beans or no beans. And now all of a sudden, we're not even talking about real estate, but here it is. It's like Rob Cressy real estate, beans or no beans. Which side are you on?
Well, Rob, Sherry Fearbacher, who is my mother, my broker, my partner in the business, she said, finally, you said something I understand. Beans belong in chili. And that's the type of engagement, though. She's probably been sitting on the sidelines the whole time trying to figure out what we're talking about, but she can chime in about beans. You know what? Our clients and our sphere and our audience can do the same thing. They might not always understand what we're talking about, but if they get encouraged and excited about something like that, I mean, that's something to, beans do not belong on the side, Christine Burke. So you have yet to have mine. And I make mine with Italian sausage. So there's another thing for you. But no, I mean, those are the things. And we've got 10 minutes left. And Rob, you and I could sit here because love your energy, and we could talk about so many different things that come into play. But I think the biggest thing for kind of the takeaway effect of realtors is I look at the meme that goes around of Tom Brady's evolution of his career. And we've talked about this before. Like, he was in the 6th or 7th round of the draft when he was drafted. I mean, he was not the number 1 pick out of the draft. But we all think of Tom Brady where he is now and where he ended his career. And we see these memes where even his facial structure has changed over every season because he improved himself and he improved his diet. And that's why he was able to perform optimally at 42 years old when people, much younger than him were not at that optimal state. But he just got better and better and better and better. But people don't think about Tom Brady, sixth, seventh round draft that had a pudgy face and didn't know what he was doing and riding the bench. They think of the GOAT, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So I think that's where we are now. And realtors are the worst when they compare. They see people that are having success. And sometimes, guys, that's just perceived success. They're putting good social media content out there. But the biggest thing for me at different stages of my career has been do not compare yourself to other people. Just drill down and focus on what your value proposition is, what you're good at, and hone in on your skill set. Because Tom Brady was, in the NFL for like 20 years. That man was not the GOAT year one. But if your goal is to be the GOAT, just improve yourself year after year and do better and better. You don't have to go from 2 million in production to 20 million in production. There is something in between.
100%. And I'm glad that we mentioned the thing about the world class at the very beginning, because I'm world class in everything that I do. And what you just said about Tom Brady resonates with me so much, because I wasn't this person always. I wasn't this person 13 years ago. So I formulaically, by design, day after day after day. So every day for the last decade, the very first thing that I have done every day, weekends included, is read a book for 30 minutes a day, first thing in the morning. Why? It's actually very formulaic. I audited the success habits of the most successful people of the world. The average CEO reads 60 books a year. I sat there and I'm like, crap, I'm reading zero. Think I need to get on this. So if something's important enough, you will always find time to make it happen. When is there always time? First thing in the morning, because we've got the excuse of if you do it later in the day, oh, I got tickets to the game, or I'm going to go do this. So I saw my dreams on the other side of me, air quotes, learning how to read. And then I rinsed and repeated it every single day for a decade. And people were like, Rob, how in the world do you become a coach? I was like, I never actually set out to become a coach. I just lived like a coach for a decade until people said, Rob, can you show me how you live like you live? And that's where I create the habits, routines, the mindsets, the ways of being. And then let's fast forward to November. And my friend texts me about Chat GPT the first week it comes out. And I'm like, what is this thing? Within the first minute of me using this, I was like, holy smokes, Batman. I feel like I just used the internet for the first time.
Right?
On the spot, I went all in. All of the chips that I had, I already run a business. I already have a family and a child, and I live a vastly full life. All in. I'm like, this is going to change the world, because that's what GOATs do. You see this, and when the rest of the world was saying, oh my God, I can create a blog post that sounds like Daffy Duck, I'm sitting here as an entrepreneur and creator being like, how can I turn $1 into $1.50? Because I truly believe there are millions and billions of dollars at our ability to ask this thing the right questions. So you want to become the GOAT? This is literally the greatest tool in the history of the world for $20. Oh, do I want to pay for the free or the paid? $20 for the greatest thing in the history of the world. If you're not all in on this, there's not much more that Ashley or I can say, because this thing can literally make you millions of dollars.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. You talked about it in the beginning, Rob, was like, what's the one thing we can't buy more of? It's freaking time. We've heard it a bajillion times from different people that you can't buy more time. And so if this thing can literally cut down on hours and hours and hours of what you're trying to accomplish. I was trying to write something the other day and I was trying to talk about myself. And sometimes I think that's also the hardest thing that for people to do is talk about themselves, whether it's in business or personally or anything. Hey, I do know a lot of people that are very good at talking about themselves, but for the vast majority of us, there's this humility factor where it's like, oh, I'm not comfortable with saying what I do well, right? But I think that's what's amazing about Chat GPT is when you're struggling with writing your biography or a bio or something for social media or something that you need to put out or answering a question based on what you know you're good at. You can literally have Chat GPT as a sounding board. That's what I've been able to kind of deploy with it here recently, was saying, okay, here's my paragraph. talk like me because I'm sounding institutional, like this isn't my personality, and kind of putting some other things into it. And then it's like, it's not cheating. It's just saying, I'm stuck. Sometimes we get stuck before we can even get started. And I think that's amazing to give me 2 hours, 3 hours back of my time when it took 5 minutes to feed it appropriately and spit something out that I went, there I am. That's what I was trying to do. And I was stuck in here. And that helped me get it out.
Yeah. So, Ashley, and I'm going to share my screen right here. Think about this. 2 minutes ago, we had a discussion on beans or no beans. While you were talking, I just put create 10 Instagram reel hooks about beans or no beans from a real estate angle. Finding the right home is like deciding on beans or no beans in your chili. Let's spice things up. Think about this. If you or I were to try and we got to get a team of 4 people all in a room together. We're going to take an hour. Now let's write a bunch of hooks on beans or no beans in chili. Does this make sense? Does anybody know what they're doing? Literally, while you were talking, without you even knowing it, I went, boom, marketing campaign done. Like, we didn't have to have any knowledge of this whatsoever. It did all of the work for us. But I like the authentic nature of things. Yeah. Beans and chili? Yes or no? Finding a home you love? Definitely yes. What's up? I'm Rob Cressy, your local real estate broker who is Team Beans. And if you're Team Beans, right? So the authenticity is you. This is just your co-pilots.
Well, and Rob, I'm a lover of graphic t-shirts. So then I have to go one step further. And then I have to go, it has to be Ashley Gentry, Team Beans, you know? And then I have to get that printed on a t-shirt and go to the gym and go to my next listing appointment. But it's even Francie Beal, who's one of our fantastic affiliates. She said, can we expand to this chili? I mean, so that the conversation is continuing to build on what people want to see in their dadgum chili, you know? And I think that's what's great is it's putting a smile on our face, talking about social media prompts through, you know, real estate oriented lens, but talking about something that is extraordinarily controversial in Texas that you've been right into now is beans or no beans in the chili game. And those are the things that I think are so amazing. Like, figure out what you're passionate about and then use that. But I think we go so big. And Rob, you were great to say, you know, get that notepad out. And by the way, isn't Evernote going away?
It better not. I think invested the last decade of my life leveraging Evernote.
Look into that because you said that. And I think Stuman is all about Evernote too. So you need to look into that. But at the same time, just really honing in on who you are and what your brand is and all of those things. And I think we can all do a much better job of what did you find out? It's going away.
Evernote has been bending spoons will take ownership of Evernote in a transaction. I don't know what that means, but this is first beans, no beans. Now you're telling me I don't know what this is going to mean, but I've literally invested a decade of my life to writing down every single conversation. And when I say every conversation, I took notes of this conversation.
Okay, well, so Rob, so at least you got something from me that I took that from another conversation that everybody who's invested their lives into Evernote better have an extraction plan. So see, guys, even Rob can learn something from us. But only a couple of minutes left. Guys, this is the whole thing. I mean, we can talk for hours upon hours. Rob was gracious enough to put that toolkit in there to keep this conversation going for you. So make sure you click on that and continue to dig down deep. But Rob, what's something that you can leave our fantastic audience, you know, to continue to chew on and encourage them to develop their passion, not only for their own personal brand, but also how they can leverage that through Chat GPT?
Okay, and it's actually going to be the toolkit. And I'm going to pop up on my screen right here because this is so important on the next level of you in this. So what this is, and here's what I know to be true, and I even told Ashley this at the very beginning. If 100 people download this, I know 80 of you will not even open the email to actually do this thing. 20 of you will, and only about 5 of you will get through 50% of this. Why am I saying this? This is literally what we give our clients who pay us thousands of dollars to do. And I decided to give this away for free because, and Ashley, you're going to love this because we're cut from the same cloth. My mindset is I want to empower people to learn and leverage this for themselves. And education is extremely important to me in leveling up. So if I can help people grow their businesses in the process, that's going to create a lot of goodwill for me. It's going to create testimonials. It's going to create referrals. And a few people will eventually turn into clients because they will say, when I was sitting there at zero, Ashley did a live stream from some guy I didn't even know. He gave me this thing and boom, it changed my life because I see it on a daily basis. The light bulb moments when the people go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, we formulaically took all the oh my God moments to say, how do you leverage this professionally for business growth? So what this is here is it's a toolkit that has PDFs. It has keys to hyper productivity, all short form stuff, 5 minutes. That if anybody ever says, oh, our course has 9 or 50 hours, I'm like, you think I got 50 hours? I got like 5 minutes. So by design is designed for people like you. But the reason I'm showing this is so you actually see what's in this. We dive into prompt engineering and the frameworks for it, creating your best practices document. So what I'm literally shared with you today comes straight out of our blueprint. And here's where the good comes in. Efficiency, effectiveness, competitive advantage, building systems and processes, SOPs. With real estate people, you want the good. Master your marketing, YouTube and podcasting, social media and micro content, expert copywriter, writing newsletters, reverse engineering how Alex Hormozy does what he does with all this.
I love him.
So, of course. Why do you think I put this in here? I took Chat GPT and reverse engineered what he did. I actually just added this video about 3 hours ago. So I'm sharing this because what we do, Ashley, you're going to love this. Every single person who works with me employee-wise goes through my personal growth program that my clients go through so I can make them a better human, and then my Chat GPT program. Why? They're more powerful than anybody that I know because by design, most people aren't a part of this. So if you did this or you had your employees do this, watch one video a day. That's all I ask I'm like, hey, at the beginning of the day, 5 minutes. That's it. 1 month later, Rob, you're done.
That's what immediately went in my head, what I can do for the rest of you guys that are sitting here, because realtors naturally or people in the real estate industry will isolate themselves. Entrepreneurs will isolate themselves. You know, I mean, it becomes very isolating, always trying to drive. But if you did nothing but grab a couple of your closest colleagues, friends, whatever, that are in the business and said, hey, let's commit to one another, because accountability is key. I know that's something for me. I'll disappoint myself, but I don't want to disappoint someone else. I remember that finally that light bulb went off when Gary Vee said that about talking about his personal fitness. And he was like, I don't want to go to the gym, but I didn't want to upset my personal trainer. So I actually went to the gym. And that's how I'm designed too. And I think naturally a lot of us are. So guys, get that toolkit, share it with some of your friends and say, hey, do you want to do this with me? Let's commit for the next month or however that looks structured. And let's all sit there and say that we're going to check in and we're going to do this and we're going to watch a video or do that module or whatever else, 5 days a week for the next 5 weeks, however long it takes. Guys, that's amazing because everything that we said was digestible. It was fun. Rob, you're spitting the knowledge and you're doing the videos. So if you had fun tonight, you'll have fun doing that. But create some accountability, because I think that's the key in creating that consistency and that discipline to keep things moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. There's a great book, The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long. It changed my life because what essentially he said is, why do most people not accomplish their dreams? Because they just don't spend enough time going over them. Most people on average set their yearly goals, a week later they're done. But imagine every single day of your life, reading your vision, reading your dreams. That's the power of consistency. So for me as a coach, there's 3 things that can change anybody's life: the power of intention, the power of awareness, and the power of consistency. I have the intention to do X, Y, and Z. What's the awareness of what I'm going to do? All right, I'm going to leave this piece of paper right here that says most important things in my life. So I always see it, which then goes to the power of consistency. Cool. I do this every day. I do this. I read every day. I read every day. Most people, yeah, one day, whatever. 1 week, whatever. 1 month, wow, this is getting good. 1 year, wow, that was unbelievable. Do it for a decade and let's chime in. Welcome to the big leagues.
Rob, thank you, my man. I appreciate you. Again, spitting that fire from Florida. As we said in the beginning, we didn't say you were from Florida, but you know, as the other powerhouse state in the U.S., we appreciate you. And thank you so much. Hopefully you'll join us again. We've already had people say they signed up in the chat, and you know, I truly got so much out of this. So thank you. It's been a long day. And I told you before I got on, I needed you to talk to me because I was in a different headspace. And man, I am completely recalibrated. Yes, as Johnny Moa just said, future of real estate. Thank you so much, Rob. This was amazing. And I'm echoing the sentiments of plenty of people in the chat.
You are welcome. And I would love to hear from everyone. You can connect with me on social media. It can be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, at Rob Cressy. I've got a podcast built for the game, which will help you win in business and life for the long haul. And I'm a vibe and an energy. And if you hit me up, I'm going to help you. This program, we have so many opportunities to level you up. We have coaching programs, both on demand, one-on-one, everything in between. We are go-givers. It's why Ashley's doing this in the first place. So be a part of Ashley's world. Be a part of my world. I'm rooting for you. I believe in you, and I love you.
Well, hey, you know what we said, Rob? I've got it down here. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So, guys, keep on going out there and trying to attract the people that you truly deserve to be around. I know that's what Rob does. I'm trying to continue to level up to do the same thing, which is how I met Rob in the first place, because I was in the right room and with the right people in the right circles. So continue to put yourself in those rooms where you're not the smartest person and you can learn something from somebody else. And Rob, I can't wait to have you on here again. Thank you so much for taking your evening and your time away from your family. You are a true warrior. We appreciate all that you do, and we will see you very, very soon.
You're welcome. Thank you.